Okay, so we're going to compare and order real numbers. This is the intermediate section. The trick to this is always, always, always using your calculator. So here it's asking us which set of numbers are listed in descending order. So the first thing I would do here is I'd say descending means we're going down. We're going from big to small. Okay? Then I'm going to notice that all of these numbers are the same. So I'm just going to put all four numbers in my calculator. I know that I've got negative 66, that's percent, so I'm just going to leave it alone. I've got negative 0.45, and I know I need to make it a percent, so I'm multiplying it by 100. I've got negative 1 divided by 3. Again, I have to make it a percent, so I'm multiplying by 100. And finally, I have 1.8, and I'm going to make that a percent by multiplying by 100. So I've got negative 66%, negative 45%, negative 33%, and 180%. Descending means the biggest has to go first. So my 1.8 has got to be first. So it's either this one or this one. Those two are already out. Then I'm going to go to my, actually I'm going to look at my very smallest percent. That might be the easier way to go because I know it's going big to small. The very smallest is negative 66%, which is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and check the others. Okay, so 180% is the biggest. The next one is negative 33.3%, which is here. The next one is negative 45%, and then the smallest is negative 66%. So D is your answer. Again, if you just use your calculator, you can use process of elimination from there. Okay, we want to put these numbers in ascending order. Ascending means you are going up. You're starting from small and you're going to big. So again, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to put these in percent form. 85% is already a percent, so I don't have to worry about changing that. So I'm going to clear my calculator and I'm going to put in 4 divided by 5, and then I'm going to multiply by 100 to make that 80%. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down here just because it makes it easier. The next one is, the next one is 1.29, and I'm going to multiply it by 100 to make it a percent. So that's 100. Oh, sorry, I got to fix this and put it back on pin. So that's 129%. Then the next one I'm going to put in is the square root of 9. Again, I have to move out a little bit and multiply by 100 to make it a percent. So that's 300%. I've only got one more I got to do. So let's come down here and do 6 divided by 4. Whoops, I'm sorry. I was completely on the wrong line. So I'm going to clear that. And I'm going to do 6 divided by 4. Come out here and multiply by 100. Which gives me 150%. So I know I'm starting from my very smallest percent. So when I look here, my smallest percent is the 80, so it would be 4 over 5. My next smallest is 85%, so that goes next. My next smallest would be 129, so that's 1.29. Next smallest is 150%, so that's 6 over 4. And finally, my largest percent, my biggest percent, is the square root of 9. So with your calculator and a little bit of organization and time writing these down, you are not going to miss them. Alrighty, we've got one more that we're going to put in descending order. Descending order means we're starting at big and we're going down to small. So again, I'm going to just draw my lines. Take your time, make sure that you're drawing these or writing these numbers down correctly. The first one is 1. I'm going to go over a little bit and put in 2 divided by 3. Oh, that didn't work, so let me try again. 1 space 2 divided by 3. Then I'm going to move over and multiply that times 100. That gives me 167%. The next one, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put in 9.24 times 10 raised to the -2 power. Then I'm going to move over a little bit and multiply that times 100 to get a percent. And that gives me 9.2%. Then we've got pi. So I'm going to go ahead and put pi in and multiply that times 100 to get, I didn't leave myself very much room, 314.2%. And your next one is 1.457 times 10 to the 5th power. I'm going to move down so I can multiply that by 100 and make it a percent, which is a very, very large percent. 1,400,000, no, it's even more than that, 14,570,000%. So that guy's huge. And then I've got a negative number. We haven't had any of those. So we've got negative square root of 225, which gives you -15%. So that's the only negative number. So it's going to be on one end or the other. So we're descending. We're going down. So that means that the -15% has got to be last. So let's go ahead and do that. So negative square root of 225 is going to be last. Now let's look at the very biggest number. I don't think there's any question that it's right here, so we're going to put that first. 1.457 times 10 to the 5th power. So I'm going to put a check mark by those two because we've already gotten them. Again, we're going big to small, so that's the biggest. The next biggest is right here, pi. The next biggest is 1 2/3, and then finally 9.24 times 10 to the -2 before we put in that negative square root of 225. So again, organization, writing it down, and your calculator is going to fix this for you. The next video will be compare and order real numbers.